Hey guys, welcome to this 30-minute yin practice. So today we're going to be focusing on the upper body. So mostly shoulders, neck, chest and upper back. So you may want some props for this practice. If you have a block, we will use that. If not, you can use hardcover book or anything sort of sturdy like a block shape. A blanket, or if you don't have a blanket, then a towel's perfect as well. And we'll also be using a bolster. If you don't have a bolster, grab yourself a couple of pillows from the bed or a long sofa cushion. So if you need to go grab any props, go and do that now so you've got it all prepared and you don't have to disturb your practice once we've begun. So for each pose, I will give you variations to use the props or not use the props. So plenty of options for all levels here and depending on how you're feeling in your body. So we're going to get started lying on our front for our Sphinx pose. So coming to lay down on your belly, bring the forearms down to the mat. We'll bring the elbows underneath the shoulders, spread the fingers out wide, bring your legs out nice and wide and just relax those legs. So the idea here is we're gently pulling the mat back towards us with the hands, and as you do that you're pressing the chest forward. So we're opening through the chest or the front body, and you're going to feel a bit of a compression through the mid to lower back. So there shouldn't be any pain present. See how this feels for you. If it's a little intense, move the elbows forward a little more. Another option, if this is quite strong for you, is you can use the bolster to support you, and that is wedging the bolster or pillows just underneath your ribs, so it's kind of propping you up, and then your forearms come down in front. That's just going to give you a little more support and less depth in your back bends. So this is one option. Another option is we don't want any strain through the neck, so if holding your head up feels like it's straining the neck at all, you can use your block to rest the forehead on. You can adjust the height of the block as well. So just choosing what feels appropriate for your body today. That is not pushing yourself past your edge. We want to feel sensation here, but not so much that it's painful or that it's too much to hold in stillness. You find that edge for your body today. Let the eyes close down. So turning our gaze inward. Becoming aware of any sensations in the body. Starting to follow your breath, your natural breath. Nice, steady, effortless breath in and out. If you feel like you would like a little more sensation to go a little bit deeper into this, you can bring your hands out just a little bit wider. Press through your hands and straighten the arms, and that's going to bring you up into seal pose. So that's going to move the sensation a little bit lower down into your back. So see how this feels if it is that you want to go a little stronger. If it's too strong, please come back down onto forearms. Just because you try it does not mean that you have to stick with it. There's no expectation for you to go deeper in this pose. It's just feeling where you're at in your body today. Again, awareness settles back on your breath. Softening, relaxing the legs if you feel like you're tensing them at all. And taking your last few breaths here. Slow, steady, effortless breaths. And slowly we'll release. We're just going to bring or stack one hand on top of the other and rest the forehead down on the hands. Just allowing everything to settle here, allowing your back to readjust, legs are relaxed. Taking a few breaths in between poses. Okay, our next pose is going to be a shoulder stretch called open wings pose. So I'm just going to grab my blanket here to use underneath my head. If you've got a cushion, you can also use that. You don't have to use anything. You just want it handy in case you do need it. So I'm just folding it, getting it ready because I know that I like it here. So bring your right arm out wide, palm facing down, so your hand's in line with your shoulder. And your left hand is underneath your left shoulder. Using that left hand, slowly rolling yourself onto the front of that right shoulder, and you'll step your left foot over your right leg. So left hand can stay where it is for now. If you feel like you need some support under your head, if your neck feels strained, grab yourself that cushion or blanket, you can pop it underneath. So with your legs, you can keep them as they are. You can also rest that left leg just on top of the right. You're always welcome to pop a cushion or a pillow in between the legs as well. That can be quite comfortable. So as I said, left hand can stay where it is, sort of keeping you steady because you don't want to push yourself too far onto that right shoulder. There should be no pain. If you're feeling steady, you can bring your left hand around your body into a half bind, just an option. You can play around a little bit with where that right arm is if you want to reach it up a little higher, a little lower, depending on where you want to feel that stretch. You're going to feel it through the shoulder, maybe a little through the pecs as well. And it can be quite intense for some people. So just breathing with it, finding that edge. Again, not too much sensation, but not no sensation. That sweet spot. So we're aware of any sensations in the body here, but not getting too caught up in them. Bringing our awareness back to our breath. Taking your last few breaths on this side. And thinking about moving very slowly as we release, releasing that left hand back down to the mat if it's not already. And you're going to very slowly roll your way back onto your front. Taking your time to come to the other side. There is no rush. If you want to take a moment in between, you're more than welcome to. When you're ready, left arm comes out wide, pressing through the right hand as you roll yourself gently onto that front of that left shoulder, and you'll step the right leg over the left this time, or maybe you're resting it on top or with a cushion in between. So that right hand can be supporting you here, or you can wrap it around your body in that half bind shape, if that feels comfortable, if you're feeling steady. Now just being curious with this side. It might feel a little or a lot different to the other side, so don't expect you're going to go just as deep or just as shallow on this side. We tend to carry a bit more stress in one side of the body than the other. So finding your stillness here in your body, bringing awareness back to your breath. This is a beautiful pose if we spend a lot of time hunched forward, as unfortunately a lot of us do. This is like a peeling back or unraveling kind of feeling for a lot of us. Just taking your last few breaths on this side. And once again, thinking about moving very slowly as we make our way out of the pose, bringing your right hand back down to the mat, slowly guiding yourself back onto your front, just removing anything from under your head. And turn your head to one side, arms down alongside the body, palms facing up. Let the legs relax, the shoulders be heavy. We're taking a moment here. Again, let everything readjust to settle. Feel any sensations in your body, maybe through your shoulders, your chest, your back, anywhere in the body. Just checking in with what's going on. And then bringing your head back to center, hands under the shoulders, pressing yourself back onto your hands and your knees. So you may want to have your props just handy for this next one. Maybe your block, your bolster. So I'll give you a couple options with the props and without. We're coming into our melting heart pose or anahatasana. So from that tabletop position, keep the hips over the knees and just start to walk your hands forward, handprint by handprint, as the name suggests, melt your heart or your chest down towards the mat. So take it nice and slow. We've got plenty of time to get into this. Now, if your forehead doesn't quite reach down, you can rest it on your block or folded blanket. There's a few different options. Now, this can be quite intense for the shoulders. It's quite a deep back bend, chest opener as well. So there's always the option to grab your bolster and pop it across your mat underneath the chest, just to give yourself that little bit of support. Just an option. Otherwise, using no props again is perfect here. So, as I mentioned, this can be quite intense for shoulders. So if you are feeling any pain or a lot of discomfort in the shoulders, you can bring your hands out a little bit wider, and that's going to give you a little bit more space. You can often feel a bit more comfortable. Another option here as well is to bend through the elbows and bring your hands into prayer behind your head or your neck. That can feel a little different on the shoulders. For some people it feels more comfortable, for others less comfortable. You can give it a try. Wherever you're at, settling back in for your last few breaths. Not a super long hold here. I know it's intense. Big back bend, chest opener. Can be quite a vulnerable pose. Bring up a lot of sensation, a lot of feelings, reactions as well in the mind. I'm going to move very slowly out of this pose. First, you'll start to lift your head up, pressing through your hands, just walking the hands back one by one till you come back to that tabletop shape, neutral spine. We'll take a few breaths just here, letting the back readjust again. Just taking it all in. Beautiful. And then grabbing a hold of your bolster, your cushions, your pillows, coming into a supported child's pose. So big toes together, knees out wide. Draw that bolster or cushions in between your legs. And then very slowly start to fold down over the bolster, the prop, and just turn your head to one side. Now you can absolutely do this without any props. If you prefer to just fold down over your mats, you're more than welcome to. I like to use a bolster in this variation just because it feels very supportive. If your hips don't quite reach down the heels, you can pop a cushion underneath in between your legs and your bum here as well. Another option. So settling yourself in, closing down the eyes, let the forearms rest down, or maybe they're hugging your bolster, your pillows. Another reason I like to have something underneath me here is because it brings that awareness back to your breath as you can feel the belly expanding and contracting against the bolster. So this sequence today, we're working with the heart and lung meridians. So meridians or energy channels, energy lines through the body. So these energy lines travel from your heart, your lung, so the center of the chest, and both of them run out through shoulders and either side of the arms. So this is where the focus is mostly in this practice. Working on releasing any blockages or any stagnation of that energy, chi, prana, whatever you'd like to call it. So if you've got your head turned to one side, just gently lifting up, turning to the opposite cheek, balancing out the neck. So in traditional Chinese medicine, they say that the heart and lung meridians are related to your immune system. So creating this clean flow without blockage, without stagnation is going to help boost your immunity. Helps to, in an emotional sense, open yourself up to more warmth, more joy from others and from yourself. So we're just working to create a little more flow here for your body, for your mind. Feeling that breath flow in and out, steady and effortless. Taking your last few breaths here in your child's pose. Once again, thinking about coming out of this pose very slowly. You'll first start to lift your head up away from the bolster and using your hands to walk yourself back up, peeling up and away from your bolster. Coming all the way up, we'll just pop the bolster off to the side or any props. I'm just going to grab myself a blanket here. This is optional for the next pose. We're coming to a seat, so bring the legs around in front of you. Now I'm going to sit up on the very edge of this folded blanket. This is going to help me to hinge my pelvis forward a little more, help me to get a little bit more range to fold forward. And not all of you are going to need this, but if you feel like you get a little stuck in forward folds, then this is a good solution for you, sitting right on the edge of that blanket or towel. As in leading with your head, we're going to very slowly start to roll forward, rounding through your back. And you're going to feel this anywhere from the back of the ankles, back of the legs, back of your hips, up your lower back, upper back, and your neck, the whole back line of your body. So your legs are relaxed here, slightly parted, giving yourself a bit of space. A few options to prop yourself here is to bring a bolster or cushions across your thighs, folding forward over, giving yourself that little bit of support. A few other ways to use the props. You can have the bolster long ways, some people like that. You can also have a block on top of the bolster to support your head. And some people like to just hug the cushions of the bolster in towards the chest. So all just a few different options. If the back of your legs are super tight, your hamstrings, you can grab a rolled up blanket or the bolster and pop it underneath your knees and then fold forward. That's going to take some of the stress out from the back of the legs. That is also a very good option if you feel any pulling sensation in your lower back. Having a bend through the knees is probably the best solution. So let the arms be heavy here. Finding your variation of this pose. Closing down the eyes. So there is no end goal for this pose. There's nothing that this is supposed to look like. We're not pushing, pulling, straining, reaching. We're not trying to get our head to our knees or our hands to our feet. It's about being soft and passive, allowing the weight of the head to guide you deeper. So working with that downward energy, downward motion of energy. And then just propping yourself if you need it. The props are there to support your practice. We don't want them to hinder the practice either though, so that you're not feeling anything. Just there to support you when you're at your edge. And allow your breath to be your guide here. Following the breath in and out. Bringing a little more softness into the body and into the mind with each exhale. Allowing yourself to soften, surrender a little bit more. with each breath. Taking your last few breaths. And then very slowly start to peel your way up, coming up with your head very last, vertebrae by vertebrae. Popping any props off to the side. Take a bend into your knees, bring your feet out wide. And just resting on your hands behind you. Let the knees rock gently from side to side, very slowly feeling all the sensations through your legs and your hips. Okay, coming into our last pose. It's going to be a supported fish pose, so I'll get you to grab your blanket or your towel, opening it up so that it is at least as wide as your shoulders, preferably even a little wider. And you're going to roll it up. So you want to make it kind of like a little sausage, or just a rolled up blanket, if you will. Placing it across your mat, and that is going to go across your mid back or across where your bra strap would be, roughly. So basically your shoulders are going to come right off the top of it. So just slowly lowering yourself down. You can adjust yourself once you get there if you need. So shoulders come right off the top of it. Reach your arms out wide and let the back of the head rest down here. Beautiful. Now you can do whatever you like here with your legs. You can extend them out long. You can keep them bent with the feet out wide, knees rocking in its center. Or you can come into butterfly with the legs, soles of the feet together and the knees apart. It doesn't matter too much, whatever you choose here with your legs. Our focus is more on the upper body. Closing down the eyes again. Starting to find stillness here in this pose, in this shape. So feeling that expansion, that opening up through the chest, the lungs. Feeling the supported back bend. Can you find access that deeper breath here? Using it to bring a little more softness into your shoulders, your upper back. Following that breath in and out. Steady and effortless breath. And just taking your final few breaths here. Can you soften or surrender just a little bit more for these last few breaths? Okay, and then taking a bend into your knees if they're not already. So soles the feet onto the mat. Very slowly rolling over onto one side, rolling off the blanket, removing it from underneath you, popping it off to the side. As you come to lay down on your back into Shavasana, you can always pop that blanket over you if you need a little more warmth. Let your arms and your legs come out nice and wide here. Hips are heavy, shoulders relaxed, back of the head resting comfortably. Allowing your body to absorb and integrate this practice we've just done. Feeling the energy, prana, the chi flowing freely through your body. Finding stillness. And then taking a deeper breath here. Start to bend into your knees slowly. And very slowly roll over onto your preferred side. And from your side, making your way up to a comfortable seat. Nice and slow, eyes stay closed or close them down again. Bringing the hands together before the heart. Once again, finding gratitude here for your body, for your breath, and for your practice. And thank you all for letting me guide you today. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you soon.